In the mid-1950s, the Suez Canal was one of the most strategically important waterways in the world. Britain no longer needed it to protect its ever-dwindling empire, but it was a vital oil route, with 2/3 of Europe's oil passing through it by 1955. In July 1956, Egypt nationalized the canal, leading to a 250,000-strong Anglo-French-Israeli invasion. On the 29th of October, Israeli paratroopers and ground forces attacked the Sinai Peninsula, while British and French troops launched Operation Musketeer 2 days later, attacking Egypt by air and sea. Egyptian President Nasser responded by sinking 40 ships in the canal, closing it to all traffic. The 70,000 Egyptian forces were quickly overwhelmed, but world opinion labelled the invasion an act of aggression. The invading forces had made the fatal error of not securing American support for the offensive. And, even more significantly, Soviet Union leader Nikita Khrushchev threatened to intervene on the Egyptian side. The United States appealed to the United Nations. The General Assembly passed the Uniting for Peace resolution and ordered a ceasefire leading to the end of hostilities in March 1957, and the first ever introduction of a UN peacekeeping force. The whole affair was a political debacle for Britain and France, and greatly marked their decline as global powers. You might not expect a sea collision ending in the deaths of 46 people to be described as a story with a happy ending. But there were another 1,660 crew and passengers who survived the sinking of the ANDREA DORIA, thanks to a well-orchestrated and speedy rescue operation, which saved this maritime disaster of July 1956 from being another Titanic. Thick fog off the coast of Nantucket in the USA was the main culprit, when the Italian line's luxury ocean liner, the SS ANDREA DORIA, was hit in the side by the Swedish-American line's SS Stockholm and sank the next morning. Miraculously, 14-year-old Linda Morgan survived only by being catapulted from the ANDREA DORIA onto the Stockholm's bow. Even before famous resident and former President Bill Clinton put Little Rock, Arkansas on the map, the American town hit the headlines for different political reasons. On the 23rd of September 1957, 9 African-American students were denied access to the Central High School by an angry, anti-integrationist mob of over 1,000 white students and their supporters. This led to a showdown between President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who marshaled 1,200 soldiers to escort the students to school, and Governor Orville Phobos, who tried to physically prevent the students from entering the school with the help of the National Guard. The crisis escalated to such an extent that the school was shut down for most of 1959, before finally reopening as an integrated school system toward the end of the year. Having been spat at and abused, the 9 students all went on to distinguish themselves. They became writers, professors, civil rights activists, publishers and educators. During their ordeal, the Little Rock Nine were advised by local journalist and activist Daisy Bates. Along with Bates, the students received the Spingarn Medal in 1958, and the 9 also received the Congressional Gold Medal in November 1999 in recognition of their brave stand. In 1996, 7 of them appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show and even reconciled with some of their tormentors from that time. The most memorable apology was made to Elizabeth Eckford by Hazel Bryan Massery. It was Massery who was caught screaming at Eckford in a widely published photograph at the height of the confrontation, and had regretted it ever since.
Three, two, one.